Hey guys, I'm Rob. Today I'm joined by my brother Charlie for episode 135 of the running journey. Today is a bit of a different episode. It is a recap episode of Ironman Worlds where Charlie just came back from. It's not a happy, cheery, go lucky episode for sure because my brother crashed. He crashed out of Ironman Worlds. He had a pretty gnarly fall. He had a traumatic head injury, was taken out on a stretcher, headboard, neck brace, the entire kit and caboodle, lost consciousness, spent some time at the hospital, brought over there by ambulance. They pulled him from the race. So it was a pretty, I would imagine, difficult experience for my brother. Kudos to him for coming on here and sharing. He's been in bed on meds and relaxing at home here in Winnipeg for the past several days. But today he's sharing his story. I spoke to him very briefly before today's episode, but it wasn't an extended chat. I just got to hear from him that he was okay, and that was very special to me because Sunday was a very hard day for me. I was following my brother on Ironman like I usually do on the app anytime he runs, and he does the same to me, and we encourage each other, and I kind of live vicariously through him when he's racing, and he does the same. And I know a lot of Manitobans were following my brother, and then all of a sudden the Ironman app just started saying no movement. Charlie just wasn't moving and nothing was happening. And all of a sudden it was location lost or athlete no longer found. And I was like, what is going on? And my stomach dropped. And I was thinking of that aggressive straight down descent, screaming descent on the last third, which is where he was. I knew exactly where he was. I was comparing, I was thinking of that downhill. I was thinking, oh my God, my brother fell. Something happened to my brother. And I knew it in my heart of my heart, something had happened to my brother. I knew he wasn't quitting. I knew there was no possible way he was quitting. And I thought, is there a chance the technology is wrong? No, the technology is not wrong. This Ironman, they got this figured out. Did he lose his chip? No, something happened to my brother. And I was just sick. I was just ill. Phoning my parents, calling my parents, please update me, please update me. They didn't have their phone. Finally, I got a hold of Cheryl, his wife, and I got the update. Charlie was in the hospital recovering from a traumatic head injury. So good news is my brother's in good spirits. He does feel lucky to be alive. He was on his way to a very good finish at Ironman World Championships. And he's lucky to be alive, and he thinks he will recover. Obviously, he's in a lot of pain right now, but that's going to get better, hopefully, with time. And nothing is permanently broken. He's got some issues with the shoulder, I think separation or dislocation or something like that. And he's got some rib issues, but largely he's back. He also talks about some testicle issues and some back issues, but feels like he got hit by a car. Anyways, I am so glad my brother is alive. So glad he's okay. And I guess glad that he shared his experience here on the podcast so that you can listen to it also. Puts things in perspective when, every week you come on here and you think about training and running and jokes and, how fast we're going to run and, putting pressure on people and putting pressure on ourselves. And then this is like the reset. It's a permanent reset here to just remember, put things in perspective, hug your kids, hug your family, tell your parents you love them, and tell your wife you love her, and just remember that we're lucky to be alive here and we're happy to be alive and to be able to train. So love all you guys. Love all you guys for listening. This is episode 135 of the running journey. It's a heavy one, but it's good. I love it. And I love my brother. Okay, welcome. I'm here with my brother Charlie, who just got back from Nice, France, the World Championships. No sugarcoating it, did not have the day that he was hoping for. I am glad to see you, though, Charlie. I'm glad you're alive. I'm glad those of you who don't know, Charlie had a bit of a fall. I don't really know much more about the story, so I'm going to let you tell the story. We're here to do a recap of the World Championships. This was your A race. You had trained a lot for this. Maybe you want to talk about the lead in, or how do you want to do this? Do you want to just maybe tell us how, I don't know. How do you want to do this?
We can start with the flight in and stuff. And
Yeah. So Charlie, you had a DNF. We'll get to the DNF. We'll get to your injury. We'll get to your crash. We'll get to that. But let's start about the flight in. So you're flying there with mom and dad.
Yeah.
And you flew out a day earlier, I think, like the Wednesday or something?
We were there. We left Winnipeg on the Wednesday.
Yeah.
Arrived because of the time change. We arrived on a Thursday. Sorry, I'm a little blurry a little bit, but I'll do my best here. But yeah.
Are you blurry because of like concussion and travel, or concussion and or travel?
Yeah. So a couple things. So I had like I had a traumatic head event, is what they wrote on the doctor's report. Although I feel pretty sharp, that's part of it, and then just I'm on like pain medication. So
traumatic brain event, is that what
head event? They
head event.
it. Yeah.
Okay, is that what they've renamed concussions, or is that different than a concussion?
Well, I think they don't know that if I had a concussion or not.
Okay.
So they're just calling it, because they only arrived after it happened. So yeah.
Okay. When I was younger, I had issues with concussions, and how I understood it back then was that like your skull rubs against like the brain. There's that coating around. I think it's called the meninge in French. What would that be in English? Whatever. Meninges, is that the right word?
Meninges,
probably. Meninges. Probably and then the crashes, the impact is so brute that the brain goes through the cushions and rubs against the skull and causes bleeding in the brain, which is damage, right? That's kind of what I was told explained my concussions. I used to lose consciousness back in the day when I would get concussions, and eventually I stopped playing junior hockey, but there was people there, so they could assess me at the time. So that's how they could identify concussions. You're saying that they can't identify concussions unless they're there when it happens. Is that right?
I don't know why. Okay. I'm not sure.
Okay, so you're foggy a little bit.
Expert, but that's what it says on the medical papers they gave me. Yeah.
Okay, papers say you had a traumatic head injury and you had and you're on meds, so the details are blurry. But you're flying out Wednesday, Thursday. You get there. I saw that you didn't you go biking or running that day?
Thursday, I went for a quick bike ride. I was supposed to do the first 10K of the course, and the last 10K of the course, there seemed to be so much traffic, and also just checking to see if my bike worked. There was a lot of traffic, so it was not that useful, I feel, but I did confirm that the bike was working on that day. So, and then I took it pretty easy for the rest of that day. Went for dinner, and then on the Friday was the plan to go and ride the last 50K of the course. My coach had recommended that I ride the last 50K of the bike course because he had said it had been pretty difficult for you, and it might be useful to practice it once. So that's what we did on Thursday.
Thursday or Friday?
Friday, yeah. Friday. It did end up being a really long day because we drove in the mountains, me and my parents, and and like you can't drive that fast up those mountains because it's like hairpin. There's just nonstop hairpin, like just sharp turns, downhills, and all that. But it was kind of nice because we rode the whole course, and I was able to do I kind of in my head understood where the big hills were.
What did that take? Like 4 hours to drive that course?
Oh, it took all day. It took like 7 hours. So it took a long time. We stopped for lunch in Andon.
Okay, I remember that.
That was great. They gave us so I ordered I guess it's a ham and cheese sandwich, but it was on like a Subway type bun. But it was like fresh French bread, and there was about 2 pounds of cheese on the sandwich.
Oh, let's go.
So it was pretty good. That was fun. My mom was really sick, so we've kind of taken it easy because she was getting sick.
The driving. Yeah, the turn. Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So my original plan was to go and ride the last 70K. But when we got there, we kind of missed it, and it was like, whatever. I was so tired. I was like, last 50K is going to be good enough, right?
This would have been like 4 p.m. or something by the time you
It
started.
was so late by the time, yeah. So then at Kusagul,
So you took. Sorry, keep going.
yeah. So when I got to Kusagul, they dropped me off, and we said, okay, we'll just meet at the next town, and we just kind of. So I
They
was
go
biking
ahead. You'd bike. They go ahead.
town to town. I was going, but my dad was saying like a lot of times I was going faster than they were going because, but on that practice run, like I barely pedaled because I was like, oh, this is scary. So foreshadowing for things to come.
Foreshadowing for
Anyway,
things.
so I barely pedaled, but I was getting way more comfortable by the end. Like I started getting a feel for when to lean into the turn and all that. But so that's what we did. We got back really late on Friday, pretty late on Friday. I got stuck in traffic. Nice. Well,
Where
there's a
did they?
town.
Where did they drop you off? Remind me. The town Kosal. Did you say?
Kusagul,
Okay.
which is close to where I had my crash.
Kosal. Is that right after that last big climb? Is that fair?
Yeah, it's right after the last big climb. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So then Friday, that was Friday, had a nice dinner, walked around. Nice is like just amazing. Like it's the weather there is so nice. Just walking around there. We had dinner. It was good.
Was that the dinner at Chez Annette or at Annette?
Oh, it could have been. Yeah, I think so. Yeah. And then my plan for Saturday was supposed to be just super restful.
But you had to go register on Friday. You had to do that too.
Oh yeah, I did that on Thursday.
Okay,
Sorry.
you could do it
So
on
Thursday I checked in too.
Okay.
Just checked in, got my bibs and all that, my stuff. Saturday I had to check in my bike. But
yeah,
Saturday I wanted to, for some reason, what did I want to do on Saturday? I wanted to ride my bike a little bit more. Oh, there was something, my shoe on my bike, the clip that tightens the string on the shoe is kind of in rough condition on my shoe, and I wasn't sure if I could put the shoes on while I was riding the bike without like breaking the shoe. So I wanted to test that out. So I did that on Saturday and it worked fine. I was able to put it on. Then I had a quick run because I just wanted to feel. I think I had another run. I went for another run Friday night just because I wanted to. Just felt like going for a run for some reason. And my running felt really good out there. I was kind of excited for the run. Had a good.
You were
run.
running right on the boardwalk there, right? You were
yeah, and I just felt fast, like like finally the taper was working, type of thing.
Yeah.
And then I went for a swim Saturday. After I did my run and my bike, I checked in my bike. I'm not sure what the order was. Maybe I went for my swim before, but the swim was actually super critical for me because I went in there and I'm like, oh man, this is like, it looked really wavy, and it was like, even though there wasn't that much wind, it doesn't look as wavy as it actually is once you get in there. So I got in there and I got the opportunity to feel how wavy it was, but also it felt super easy to swim in that water because like the buoyancy of the salt. And I just went in there with my bathing suit, no goggles, whatever.
Just the old jump in the lake, like the
just
old
to jump in the lake to get the feel. And I did like 300 meters and it felt super easy. So that gave me a lot of confidence for the swim.
So you had some confidence because now your bike, your jog went well. You're feeling good. The swim.
Well, the one thing that I didn't have confidence was the downhill part of the bike ride.
Oh, fudge.
So I feel like that kind of like, it was kind of like just, anyways, yeah.
I'm so sorry, man.
No, that's all right. Everything else I felt really confident. But okay, so then Saturday, the rest of Saturday, by the time I did all that, I think my parents and I walked around for quite a bit of Saturday, just got some souvenirs, then went for dinner, and pretty early dinner because I wanted to go to bed pretty early. And then the race was on Sunday. So our spot was right beside the transition area. So it was super
beautiful
nice.
spot.
The other thing I did, which like took an hour, was I usually bring a blender to these things so I can set up my nutrition. And it took like an hour to set up our nutrition because I had no blender, so I had to like blend everything by hand, and it takes forever. So if you've ever mixed a bunch of scratch, so I had 2 bottles of 100 grams, and the last bottle had 500 grams in it, and so to mix that 500 grams in there took a while. So that was
you can't just keep adding the scoops.
No, it doesn't.
Because it doesn't dilute. It doesn't dilute. Okay.
Yeah, it's not that simple. You have to like blender is really the best way to do it.
Does it chop the granules?
I don't know, but the blender takes like 3 seconds, and if you do it by hand, it takes like 20 minutes.
Okay.
So that was that. So I was feeling pretty good about how fit I was and how strong I was, especially for the swim and the run. And woke up. The plan was to wake up on Sunday, and I was gonna break up my bike setup into 2 portions because I wanted to wait for the last possible minute to put my bottles on the bike so that they were cooler. So when I woke up, I went and I just put air in my tires. That took like not very long. 10 minutes.
Time did you wake up?
I don't really remember. I think I got there
4:30.
Huh?
4:30?
No, it was more like 5:45 or something. It was pretty late.
Didn't your race start at 7 a.m.?
7:45.
7:45. Okay.
Yeah, so I got in there for my bike portion at about 6. Okay. And then I went back to put my bottles back at around 7. And transition closed at 7:30. So then I went back to the room because I had to bring a bottle back and whatever. I wanted to relax a little bit.
Well, your room was right there, right?
Yeah. So I was in my room, and then I was like, okay, well, I got to get there now. So I decided to go. And for some reason, the swim start was on the east side of our hotel room, but the entrance to the transition area was on the west side. And I assumed that you could just go directly to the swim start. So I walked all the way to the swim start. I get there. And by the way, everyone there thought I was from Quebec because I was talking to everyone in French. And
they don't know the difference. Yeah.
They just thought I was from Quebec. Go back. And so then
you had to walk all
they told me, oh no, you can't come in this way. So I walked all the way back. So then I was like a little bit, okay, I got to hurry here to get there on time. I don't want to miss this race. I got there. I had plenty of time. I had probably 10 minutes to spare,
Yeah.
And then that start is kind of interesting because it's by age group, and you have your color hats. So you just go with your color of hats. You're standing on the beach, and then they tell you to go in the water. And then it's like a treading water start. It was a no wetsuit start, no wetsuit swim. And
did you knew that ahead of time, or was it like me?
I had talked a little bit through it with my dad, and we were pretty sure it was going to be non-wetsuit.
Okay.
And I was actually hoping it would be, to be honest, I was hoping it would be non-wetsuit because I was like, it's going to be so hot with a wetsuit. But then I had talked to Patrick. He's like, if you can wear the wetsuit, you wear the wetsuit. But at the same time, because I had done my swim the day before and I felt it was so buoyant without the wetsuit, I was like, I think I'd be happy with no wetsuit. It also would make it simpler to set up for the next day and all that. Right?
Yeah.
So yeah, they got confirmed at 5 a.m. No wetsuits. So I was happy. No wetsuits. Get in there. And the swim went really well. Super proud of the swim. So the thing with the swim is it starts out and you're in the Mediterranean Sea, and there's these little waves. It wasn't that wavy, but there's these little waves, and you start off, and then everybody goes really hard to start. And I talked to Patrick, and my plan for the swim was to go really hard for 2 minutes, and then moderately hard for another 2 minutes, and then try to just go into cruise mode after that and find some feet and just follow people, right? Oh yeah, so I start swimming and I realize there's water in my goggles, and I'm like, okay, well, I'll fix it later. But I just never fixed it. Who cares? But like for the first like 500 meters, I tried to sight, but it was just like so splashy. And you look up, and if you were at the bottom of a wave, like you wouldn't be able to see over the wave. So you wouldn't be able to see the buoys. And there was like 20 or like, there was like so many swimmers ahead of us. Like you couldn't, it was like just, a splashy, and it was hard, very hard to see for like the first 5. So I was like, these people are probably good swimmers. If I swim in the general direction that everyone else is swimming, I'm probably good. So that's how I sighted for like the first 500 meters. And then when we got to the end, then I could actually see the red buoy a little bit.
Man, I think I said this last time, but when I did this course 2 years ago,
yeah,
I also thought it was very choppy and very wavy, and I get nauseous like my mom and I got so nauseous in the swim that I puked. I was so nauseous at the end of the buoy, right at the end of the second loop.
It was very, very choppy at the turn.
Oh, right at the turn, you're a kilometer into the ocean.
I don't know why that it was so all of a sudden you got like 2 feet waves at the turn.
It was whitecaps, and I was like, and you're like doing this, but you're going up and down. And then I remember just being like, I thought I was gonna be like something was wrong, and then I puked, and then I felt good. Although fish came in.
I've never felt this confident and good in a swim. I was like, I don't care about these whitecaps. I'm just gonna keep swimming. Like, so all the extra swimming training I did, I guess helped. Good because it just gave me a lot of confidence. Like I'm not that I swam that fast, but
you did a 1:17, Charlie. I was in really good shape when I did Ironman. Well, anyways, I did a 1:18, so you beat me at your swim. So that's good.
But anyways, felt really good on the swim. Get to the end, man. Oh yeah. So then what I tried to do actually is there was this one guy that I saw pass me, and I was like, oh, he's probably a little faster than me, but not that much. So I ended up following this guy for about 10 minutes, and I did not sight the whole time. Sorry, I did sight, but I just saw his feet, and I just stayed on his feet for about 10 minutes. I would check every once in a while, and I realized he was going straight, so then I just stopped checking. I'm like, okay,
trust him.
He knows he's going straight. So I just followed him.
If you were drafting that close, what was it, like 90%, 85% of your energy, you thought?
Yeah, I think you probably save a good 10%.
10%. Okay.
So I did that, but then at some point, what happens is these waves, because there's these waves, like each group is by age group, not by speed.
Yeah, you're talking about the waves of the start, not the waves.
Yeah. So in each age group, there's going to be a bell curve type distribution of swim times, and there's going to be some really fast ones in each age group. So at some point, the really fast ones from the age group that was behind us started passing us.
Yeah, and the ones from behind, the slow ones, you're passing.
We started passing them. Yeah. So when the fast ones from behind us started passing us, I was like, okay, I'm going to try to follow this guy for a little bit. And then that's where I lost my guy that was pulling me. I probably should have just stayed with the guy that was pulling me. So I lost him. Not a big deal. I just swam on my own for about 500 meters or whatever for a while. I would, every once in a while, but everything felt good. Got to the last 900 meters, and I was like, oh man, this was actually, I was thinking to myself, this was like, I was so happy. Like, it doesn't happen that much. Like, you're in a swim and you're like, I'm like, this was no problem for me. I was happy because it was like, when I was like a year ago, had you told me that the swim would have gone that well and that it wouldn't have been a worry. Like, it was like, felt very relaxed in that swim, and I felt really good, and I felt like I'm going to do this no problem, and it's going to be chill, and it's going to be, so I was so happy, even the last 900 meters. So then again, I found another guy to followed him for probably 400 or 500 meters. And then got to the end, and oh God, my legs, when you get out though, it's a steep bank. Eh?
Yeah.
There's people helping you, but my legs were like so so shaky. I don't know. It's
Yeah,
hard
yeah,
to
yeah. It
explain.
feels like I had the lightheadedness.
Yeah, that too. Yeah, I was like that too. But then people were like, I felt like I could run. Everyone was like going really slow. I felt like I was trying to weave past people because I felt like I was fast. Like I could,
And it's a narrow
yeah.
transition. It's
But
not
I
it's not
felt like my running legs were just there. Like I was like, okay, I'm gonna weave through everyone here and pass people, and that's basically what I did. It was a bit hard to find my bag because there's like people looking for me. I guess when I got there, it was a very, very busy time. There's a lot of people there, right? So I had to like weave around people to find my bag. Finally got my bag, put my socks on real quick and my helmet, and then I just threw my bag in the bin and started running. And here I was passing people like crazy on the
because you're
transition.
running barefoot on your bike.
I had my socks on.
Oh,
but,
socks, but like
but
no
my
shoes.
shoes were on the bike.
Yeah,
Shoes were on the bike, and
you got the one hand on the seat.
well,
and
no,
you're
even before I got to the bike, I was passing people, right? So
Okay.
there's this because you drop off your bag first and then you pick up your bike. But
You had
both
a
of those
crazy
sections,
you had like a 3-minute transition.
yeah, 252. I had a really good transition. So
Yeah,
I was happy that all the preparation that I'd done over the year to be good in transitions finally paid off. I had a good transition.
shave a
Yeah.
minute or two off transition.
Well, I mean, I think yours was 8. So I mean, I think
Yeah. What was mine? Oh, I don't have it here, but yeah,
it's like half a mile you're running in there. So like 252 is pretty good.
yeah. It says 3 something on the website, but on the Ironman website.
Yours or mine?
Yours says 342. I don't know if that's accurate, but
I thought I was 252. I didn't check
either way,
man. I just
it's
checked on
4
my
minutes, 4 minutes faster than me or whatever it is.
Yeah,
It's a
yeah,
lot,
yeah.
half the time.
Anyways, it was fast. 342 still fast.
Yeah. Like I remember that transition. That is like it's not like I didn't move. I went.
Yeah. Yeah. So then I get on the bike and I start pedaling with my shoes over my feet over top of the shoes. And I'm going pretty fast, even with my shoes on and I slowly put my shoes on. There's again so much traffic here. It's hard to maneuver. I'm checking my bike and I'm seeing like I'm over 40 kilometers an hour most of the time on the street. So I feel like I'm doing well. It's easy. But yeah, lots of traffic. Till at the 5 kilometer spot, there's a no pass zone. And you have to really be careful. It's like a 270-degree turn. And then you start on the highway going north. And so everything's still pretty good. I'm feeling really good. That first hill, oh man, I'm happy I drove it because it was way harder than I would have expected. I needed smaller gears, honestly. I was on my smallest gear, and I think I was pushing about 350 watts for the steepest parts, and like at 60 RPM or 50, like very low to go like 8 kilometers an hour. Sorry. Yeah. So that first hill was crazy, but short. Yeah. So anyways, I got over top of it. That was fine. I don't know, not much more to say there. And then there kept being like small after that big first hill. It was gradually uphill with like small uphill, small descents up to kilometer 33. The kilometer 33 was really fun. There's a descent, but it's not like crazy sharp turns. There's some turns, but it's like all kind of reasonable. And I remember like hitting 65, 70 in some of those spots, feeling really good, feeling really comfortable about my control of the bike and whatever. Because that descent wasn't as severe as maybe the others that were coming, but that was really fun, that part. And then you get to kilometer 40. Do you remember kilometer 40?
I just remember it felt like it was nonstop up the first like 3-4 hours for me.
Yeah, so 33 to 40 is the downhill. Then at 40, it's an immediate, basically a 6% grade for 20 kilometers straight.
Yeah, but there's some of that is more like 10, 12, 14, 18% in the 6%, right?
I would
Is
say
it
that
consistent?
that first hill is where you see more of the bigger ones. The one
Okay.
that I was talking about where I was doing like on my smallest gear. This one's more to me, the 40 to 60K hill to me was more was pretty consistent grade.
That's the last climb of the first third.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Is that what's the and there's the col the something at the top there?
Col de l'Ancre, yeah.
Col de l'Ancre. Okay,
So
that's the
as
one I
soon as
remember.
I get to the bottom of that descent, 33 to 40, and I start climbing 40, I'm like, okay, I need to be on my small gear. And I guess I don't know how to change from my big gear to my small gear, but my chain fell off, obviously, as soon as but I fixed it. It probably took me like 20 seconds to fix it. No big deal. Yeah, I mean, I'm going 2 kilometers an hour anyways, so up that hill. So
Okay, so I remember this part. I remember that hill. I remember I'm on the inside of the mountain, and there's like a valley, and then there's another mountain on the other side. And I remember just looking at it, being like, "Well, there's no way we're climbing that. Like, there's no way they're making us."
I knew
climb that.
exactly because I had done the course and I knew exactly how long it was going to be.
And then I start seeing bikes, like specks of bikes going up, and you see them all the way up the side of the mountain. And it's like, God, this is going to be misery. Anyways, I do remember that hill.
Yeah. So that hill,
forward.
I feel like it goes from 40 to about 52 or something. And then this, they don't show on the actual map, but there's like a 2-kilometer downhill at that point.
Okay.
Because I remember I was hitting 50 kilometers an hour all of a sudden. I'm like, I don't remember this being on the map or the map that they gave us because the way they showed it, it was just like a flat. But I don't know, I hit like 50 kilometers an hour on some of those sections. And then there was the last 7 kilometers up the hill after. And that was the worst because that's when I started feeling the sun. And
I remember how hard that was. I remember how hard that was. I remember the top part, Col de l'Ancre, and there's a little picnic area on the side. And I remember the little sign.
People take photos and stuff.
You're at the top, and it's like, okay, I did it. I finished the Ironman.
Yeah. So I think I pretty much was like 250 watts all the way up both those hills. Just consistent. Like I feel like I wasn't pushing that hard, but just consistently going up. I was actually passing a lot of people at that pace. Some people were passing me. The little tiny guys would pass me, but most people I was passing going up the hill there, that climb. So I felt pretty good at that point. And then at 60, you start getting lots of rolling hills. It still climbs from 60 to 80, which the map, I mean, it's still somewhat uphill from 60 to 80. But it's like you get small hills and then you get a downhill and then you get a small hill, but it's mostly up. And then you get to the town of Andon, which was my favorite town because that's where I had gotten my sandwich the day before or the 2 days before. So I remember the town. And then there's a bit of a climb there after. And then there's a significant descent there, another descent that I just took easy. And then, I mean, I don't know how much detail we want to go into this, but and then there's that bunch of those that slalom area. Remember that?
Yeah.
Where you had to go back and forth because there's a sharp left turn before you get to the top of the summit. Like when you get to the top of where there's all the fields and stuff at the top of the mountain.
Okay. Yeah.
Anyway, so there's right before there's a left turn. You have to kind of go back and forth and slalom through and then do a left turn. And that was pretty much one of the only flat areas of the course. So I was hammering it there pretty fast in that area of the course. Probably over 40 most of the time. Then there's a turnaround. So there's that out back, and then you get back. And then it's gradually downhill till about 110
kilometers of the 180-kilometer course.
Yeah, 110. And then there's that crazy downhill at 110, from 110 to 120. Do you remember that one? Where you see basically, you see the cliff, you see like.
So this is where
a ledge and there's like outcroppings and like.
Okay, I gotta tell you this. I vividly recall that downhill, and I remember telling you when I came back how scary it was, and I remember telling you like someone's gonna get hurt here, and I remember telling you, and I remember thinking, on Sunday morning,
people have gotten hurt.
Yeah, people have gotten hurt, and I remember thinking on Sunday morning, worrying about like how fast you were gonna go, and just being like, well, especially when it started not loading, when the app started not loading.
Yeah.
I was I don't know what share I was, and like when my wife will always say she worries. My wife worries about people, like if she hasn't heard from them, if they're supposed to land a plane. And I always say, listen, if there's a plane crash, we'll see it on the news. So no use worrying. I would always say stuff like that. And I always kind of belittle her for worrying. Not belittle, but more like try to appease her worry by telling her there's nothing you can do, not a big deal, worry. Anyways, I was worrying like freaking crazy on Sunday morning because I had been on that course and then it wasn't loading and your app wasn't loading.
Yeah.
And I was like, somebody needs to tell me what's happening here. So I was texting the parents. I was trying to figure it out. Anyways, I don't want to hijack your story, but I remember that spot because that's where I got shit scared of biking.
Yeah.
It was too fast for me. I couldn't handle it.
So that spot though, like it wasn't super fast. It was just that you could see
off the edge. You're
off the edge. And if you fell off, you were dead. Like, so if you would have had that same course, let's say on the prairies, okay, I think it would have been okay. You know what I mean? Like mentally.
Because you fall off into the prairies kind of thing. If you could have had no elevation at the end of the cliff, is that what you mean?
Like at the side, if I just fall into a field instead of falling to my death.
Yes. Falling into a field instead of your death is way easier on the bike.
Yeah.
Like on the psyche.
On the psyche. So I took that section. Actually, I was getting passed like crazy in this section.
Me too. I was dead last at this point. I was like,
I was pretty conservative. There was a guy in front of me that was very conservative, and I was like, I wanted to pass him, but I was like, I'm not that confident that I've got the room, so I just stayed behind him the whole time. So that section I took very, very cautiously because I was behind that guy. And anyways, so maybe I wanted to go faster because I was like, I can go faster than this, stupid, obviously, but and people were passing me left and right, whatever. In the first 10K downhill. And then there's that, once you finish that crazy downhill of death, right?
There's a climb after that, isn't there?
There's a 10K climb.
Yeah. I thought it was 8 or 9, but I believe you if you say it was 10.
Might be less than, it might be more like 8 or 9, but yeah. So I did that climb, but for some reason I was getting tired of that, really tired for some reason.
That's a tough climb, man.
I was only doing like 200 watts up there. So my power had reduced significantly at that point. So I think I was getting really tired too in the sun. I was on track with all my nutrition and stuff, but
what time is it at this point for you? It's like
probably noon? Around noon,
1 p.m.
or something. Yeah.
Yeah. And to clarify for those wondering, you were on your time within 10 minutes or so, your goal time at this point. I think you were slightly ahead.
Well, when I was climbing that hill, I was thinking to myself, 6:15. I think I could probably do a 6:15. Because I knew that I'd averaged like 38 kilometers an hour on that downhill section the other day without pedaling at all. So I figured I had a chance to do somewhere around 6:15, 6:10, 6:15.
Yeah, at 6:10 is what I thought you'd finish.
Yeah.
Plus fresh-ish legs because you would have had like an hour off.
Yeah. So I was thinking I get to the run And maybe if the run goes well, I can run like a 350 and break 11 and a half. That was kind of what I was thinking.
Yeah.
So I was still thinking of that, but at the same time, I was also like dreading the run. I was like, I'm so tired right now. It's like, I don't know. I always felt way more tired. It's mentally exhausting. That course is mentally exhausting. I think it's more mentally than physically. Like the physical.
Simo and I talked about this, not to jump ahead here, but like to me, that's got to be one of the reasons that you fell, is that you were mentally exhausted. It wasn't that you were physically exhausted. I don't know what you're going to say, but
Yeah,
it's
definitely.
so mentally exhausting. You always have to think your gear.
Definitely.
You're
I basically, so what happened is I stopped thinking for about 30 seconds and I crashed. So I'm just going to go look at my data here. So I don't really remember. So this is when, after we got to the top of that hill, that was 130 and I crashed at 134.
Yeah. So you get to the top of the hill and you're kind of done. No, you're done climbing. That's the last climb. And you're kind of on a 50K downhill back to Nice. I remember how I felt, and you probably felt the same way. You're like, oh my God, I can't believe that's done. Let's go. Let's get to Nice and let's get running.
Yeah. So that's kind of how I felt. But at the same time, I'd ridden it the day before and I knew it was going to be hard.
Because you're hammering you're leaning so hard on these things because you're going so fast downhill. It ends up hurting here, right?
Well, my left hand was numb.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I think it was just so when I don't really remember what happened here, but so I'm going to go and kind of go through the crash here. But I'm seeing on my Training Peaks that it was a long straightaway right before. So, and right before the turn, I had 57 kilometers an hour. And I feel like I was probably hammering the brakes to be going that slow. But I didn't hammer them hard enough, obviously. I didn't. I think I started getting too confident maybe. Because I had done a lot of fast turns on the other descents. No problem. But here what happened was I slowed down and I'm like, oh shit, I'm going too fast. This is how I remember it. But it's a blur. So I slowed down and then I'm like, oh shit, I'm going too fast. I have to slow down more. So I hammered the brakes even more, but then I had no more time to turn. I'm like, oh shit, I'm not turning. And then I did I think probably a super noob move. And I just hammered the brakes. And I just went right over the top of the bike. And I hit my head first.
You went flying kind of over top of the bike.
Yeah, when I hammered my brakes.
Okay, so
I knew I wasn't going to make the turn.
So you were going to go right through.
Yeah, well, yeah. So I didn't slow down enough. I didn't commit to turning enough, and then I just tried to save it by hammering the brakes, which is probably a bad thing to do.
Scares the shit out of me.
Anyways, so then I was over, and how I remember it was that I got up. I know this isn't how it happened, but this is how I remember it. I got up and I was like, oh, wasn't that bad of a crash. I think I can probably keep going. So I looked at my bike. I'm like, okay, I'll get on my bike. But I was in pain and someone was there and they were not letting me on the bike. They say that I lost consciousness a little bit.
Okay, so you remember you're going over the bike. You just get up right away and you're like, I'm just going to get back on my bike. But someone's there.
Yeah, someone was there.
So they teleported. They teleported there probably.
Yeah.
So in reality, what you know, I guess now, is that you went over, you lost consciousness, someone saw you, someone reported you, some biker was behind you and let someone else know at the next. Because there are gaps between, just for the viewers here, for the listeners, there could be 100-meter gaps between the bikers here. Could be more than 100 meters. Could be half a kilometer. And the aid stations are 10, 15, 20 kilometers apart. There are motorcycles riding through, but they're not that often passing through. So a cyclist probably saw you. Is that what you think happened?
I don't know.
Okay. So someone saw you, someone came down, and then they talked to you and they said, you're not getting back on your bike.
Yeah, basically, yeah.
Did you argue with them?
No, No, I didn't argue at all. I knew I was in pain. My shoulder. They did the whole like neck brace and put me in the stretcher and everything, and then the van got there.
The ambulance and van
Yeah,
ambulance.
Cheryl says I have a dent in my helmet.
Oh wow.
But yeah, so it looks like I hit the corner. My top speed was 57. When I braked, I was probably slowing down to. I have to check. It looks like a sharp descent in speed from 43 kilometers an hour to 0 really quick. Yeah,
So then
according to my Garmin.
So then you kind of wake up, they put you in the stretcher. Are you freaking out?
A little bit. I was like, oh God, I'm not gonna finish this Ironman. I suck. Whatever. Was I freaking out? No, I thought I was fine. Yeah, so I could feel all my extremities. So I felt like I was okay mostly.
Okay, you knew you
I
weren't
was
paralyzed.
really worried about. It took a while, but the one thing I was like, I have to phone my wife. I didn't have my phone on me. And I kept saying, like, every 5 minutes, I'm like, I have to phone my wife. I have to phone my wife. Eventually, some guy just gave me his phone because I just kept asking every 2 minutes.
And my brother.
Well, I knew my wife could reach everyone else. So I was like, yeah. So finally, I reached my wife, and then I felt so much better. Then they take me on the ambulance, and I have to piss really bad.
Oh yeah, tell this part.
What's that?
Tell that part, or you don't want to.
Well, yeah. So then I get to the second one, and I'm like, oh, I think I can make it to the hospital. And we get on, whatever, we're moving. They switch me from one ambulance to another. And I asked, everyone was talking to me in French. They thought I was from Quebec. And I was like, no, I'm not from Quebec. I just kept saying, like, but they kept calling me the Canadian from Quebec. I asked the girl, I'm like, how far are we from the hospital? She said, oh, it's only 40 minutes. I'm like, 40 minutes? I can't last that. I have to pee. Like, there's no way I can last that long.
I've been peeing on my bike this whole time.
Yeah. So finally I say, okay, I'll try. And then 10 minutes later, I'm like, nope, I can't do it. So they stop the van. They bring in the other nurse. And the other nurse, like, helps me. Takes my penis, puts it in a bag, and helps me pee. Like, gross job for her. But yeah, anyways. So I got to pee. What's that?
No, I was going to say usually you have to pay extra for that, but it's a bad joke.
Yeah, got it. Then finally I get to the hospital. They start doing scans and stuff like that.
Well, what were they most worried about? Your head, I would imagine, right?
I don't think they were too worried about my head. They were basically saying it was precautionary, and I was saying, like, I think my head's good, guys. But they were just saying it's precautionary.
But I mean, your shoulder was in tremendous pain too. Were you pretty worried about your shoulder?
I thought for sure my shoulder was separated.
And what about your ribs and your core?
My rib, I thought for sure I had something wrong with my left rib. But anyways, I tell you, I've got bones. Like, my bones just don't break. Like, anyways, so
can I tell the you getting hit by a scooter story real quick?
Sure.
Have we told that one already?
I don't know.
When I told Marco and Derek that you crashed and you went to the hospital at Ironman or whatever, Derek's like, Charlie, he's indestructible. He really is indestructible. And I was just thinking of that time you got hit by a car on a scooter. Like, I don't know how fast are they going, like 70K or something. Boom, rammed you. You went flying.
It was like 40K, but yeah.
And like, you just showed up to the hospital, ambulance. Everyone's worried, like, something serious must have happened. And you just like shook it off, walked out of the hospital, back to the Airbnb, like that same afternoon. Like,
yeah. Well, I think I was in bed for a couple of days, but I was way younger back then. Yeah,
I know, but you weren't in bed at the hospital for a couple of days. You got released that same day.
Right? Yeah, I was. Yeah.
So anyways, I don't want to jinx anything. I'm just I'm just
Well,
telling the story. You
so
have
talking about jinxing, I jinxed myself for this Ironman for sure, multiple times. So we were swimming maybe a month ago at the nightly swim, Triathlon Manitoba swims, and one girl was talking about, like, Seymour was talking about a bike crash he had, and I'm like, oh, I'm lucky, I've never had a bike crash. So okay, jinxed it there, obviously. And then I was like, oh, I know I'm gonna finish this Ironman. I told that to like two people. Like, I wasn't happy. I thought my fitness wasn't good, and I'm like, I'm not gonna be fast, but I'll finish. And I ended up not finishing. So I jinxed myself thoroughly. So don't.
Fair enough. But like, if this were not a downhill course, there's no possibility for you to not finish, right? You would have finished on a regular course. Might not have been a great time, is what you were saying.
Yeah.
I understand what you're saying, and I agree with that statement. You would have finished had it not been for a bike crash.
Yeah.
And you would have actually maybe done a really good time, actually, because you would have been fresh on that last stretch. But anyways, okay, so you're worried. So you had some dislocated, broken something, ribs, something's going on in your shoulder, dislocated, separated, something. You had the broken helmet and some pretty serious head injury going on, and they're taking you to the hospital. And what are you thinking?
I'm like, oh God, I hope I don't miss my flight, things like that.
That's good.
Am I going to be stuck in Nice for 2 weeks or whatever? Yeah, that's what I was worried about. Things like that. I think I finally got my phone back when I was at the hospital, so then I could actually text people.
Yeah.
Phone my wife and all that. So that was good. It was carnage in there. There was like 9 other Ironman athletes. Crazy.
So 9 other Ironman athletes, bikers, swimmers, runners. I guess mostly bikers.
Mostly bikers, all bikers.
Just road rash and like.
Yeah. So one guy actually finished the race. He told me he was Canadian. We saw each other like 4 times after, but because we were on the same flight. But
the guy you saw at the hospital, was you on the because he flew to Montreal. Yeah, everyone flies to Montreal.
So he finished it, but he told me he was riding that death section where you like see the edge of the cliff and you go through the rock outcroppings.
Yeah.
So he said that he crashed. He swerved on a turn in one of the rock outcroppings.
Oh my God.
And he crashed his shoulder into the side that's like on the mountain, like the
God.
And he said, okay, but then he didn't fall. He didn't have any head event or anything. He said he just like kind of regained his composure like 10 minutes and then started biking again. And then
he was on the ground and he just
and then he finished the marathon. And I said, how did you finish that marathon? He's like, oh, I just wasn't moving my shoulder. Because he actually he needs surgery. Like, his injuries are way worse than mine, and he finished the whole thing.
Wow.
But so anyways, there was a bunch of people in there who felt like they were doing way worse than me. I was doing the best out of anyone in there. So I felt actually super lucky. Actually, I was happy at that point. I was like, well, I mean, I'm going to walk out of here. So, I mean, I was very disappointed in not being able to finish my Ironman, but.
So one of the first things you texted me was, I feel lucky to be alive.
Yeah.
Did you feel that?
Yeah.
Yeah, you could have, like, people die all the time.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
So anyways, so finally they do a bunch of scans. They think there's a minor separation on my right shoulder, very minor. Just keep your arm in a sling for 3 weeks. Negative on the rib, negative on the head scan. Everything's good except for that maybe minor tear on the shoulder.
Wow, that's a huge win. Oh.
Yeah. So I felt good, but I'm in so much pain. Like, the next day or two traveling, it felt like I was like, this is nothing. I felt like, I don't know why, but I felt like I was fine. But like, now the 2 days since I've been back to Canada, it's like, oh man, like I can't. Everything takes so much energy. I'm in like a lot of pain.
And that's not Ironman pain. Like, that's crash pain.
No, that's body recovering pain. Like, all of a sudden I started, my right testicle last night, just severe pain, and my right back all of a sudden started feeling severe pain. So it's like just, yeah, it's all over. But I mean,
So you're on meds then for the pain?
I'm on meds. I haven't worked because I can't. My brain doesn't work really. So yeah.
Jeez.
But I think I'll be back fairly shortly. I'm hoping. Still hoping I can run Chicago, but I don't know.
Chicago's in what, for 3.5 weeks?
4 weeks, I think.
It's 4 from your Ironman, I think.
Yeah, 3.5. 3 from Sunday.
3 from Sunday.
Yeah, I'll be in good shape.
You'll be in great shape. Yeah. Well, you're in your taper now, so that's good.
Yeah, I'll taper for 4 weeks. Perfect.
Super long taper. How did you like how do you feel about what you left on the table with respect to DNF?
I tried. All I can say is I tried, and I could have probably. I should have been way more conservative and more. So hubris got me. I mean, that's always the thing. You're on the line of, do you want to push or do you want to push or do you want to be safe? And I thought I was balancing that line pretty well. But I hadn't, in my mind, I had that 11.5 hour. And for some reason, I thought that I had to go fast on those hills and probably didn't need to go that fast.
Man, it's a delicate balance because it's a race, and
Yeah.
you in races and me in races, it's we go. That's
The
what I don't
interesting
like.
part, yeah, the interesting part is like the day I did it alone there with my parents, I was taking it so slow, taking it so easy. And during the race, all of a sudden I see other people going way faster. And like I decide I want to try to go faster. Like it's so dumb.
I think the best thing that happened to me on race day 2 years ago, the same day, is I gave up on the race. Like I gave up on a good time. I gave up on,
Yeah.
I became just finish was the
Yeah.
only goal. So I remember going down and I was like, no, I'm not dying today. I don't care about my time. I'm not dying today. And I remember thinking like, and I went, obviously really, people were zooming by me. But had I cared about my time that day, I remember thinking how scary it was, how scary that, and I've talked about it, I don't know how many times on this podcast, and maybe we jinxed it. I didn't listen to last week's episode, but I'm guessing we talked about how scary the descent was at some point. I'm guessing I talked to you.
Well, I knew I had done it, right?
Yeah.
So I crashed on a part that I had already done the day before.
It must feel.
I'm curious to see what the difference in speed was in that section compared to when I did the easy one. I should check that out because you get that you get in race mode and you're like, oh, I can do like you just I don't know, the competitive juices fly, and it's like I don't know. You've played hockey and you like when you play hockey, you don't care about getting hurt, right?
You don't. Yeah, you just don't. It doesn't matter.
I don't know.
I remember texting you something like, well, at least the DNF is like outside of your control, right?
Yeah.
Nothing you could do once you crash.
Well, I feel like let's say I lived in France or lived in Italy and I went down those hills maybe 100 times. It would become a lot easier to make the right decisions, right? Like it would become second nature.
Yeah, I don't think we're made.
Like unless you practice that, like I would need to practice that another 100 times to be really say that this is something that I can do with confidence, right?
It's like, I don't know, wakeboarding or something like that, where you take it slow.
Like knowing when to turn and knowing when to like.
But there's no real opportunity, right? It's like, here's the race, go as fast as you possibly can today, because we can't. You talked about practice in wherever you practice there, riding mountain or whatever in Manitoba, but it's not this. Like it's not the edge over and you fall and you die.
No, it's not like that at all. Yeah.
And it scared the shit out
It's
of
the
me, honestly.
turns. It's the turns. Like, it's not what makes this course hard is not the elevation. The elevation is part of it, makes it hard. But what makes the course hard is how many sharp turns there are that you have to navigate, like, on the descents.
Yeah.
Well, there's the big climb, but then also navigating the sharp turns on the descent. Like, there's no sharp turns like that on any descents in
Like
Round
Placid
yeah,
or
or
right
whatever.
around.
Yeah.
Um, how do you feel today about the sport as a whole? You said you'd be back. I heard you say that earlier.
Well, I spent so much money on this thing for a DNF.
Oh, man.
The
I'm
amount of money I
sorry. I'm
spent
so
on this
sorry.
DNF, the most money I ever spent on a DNF. No, I'm sure other people have spent more, but, no, I like the sport. I like biking. I still love biking.
You're very, very good at it.
I love running. I love swimming now. Like, I feel very confident in my swimming because I spent some time on it. So I'm up on the sport still, but
Good,
I
good.
think I'm going to avoid courses that are overly technical
Yeah.
because
That's the hardest course on the planet, right? It's the hardest course, most elevation, most descent, slowest times, toughest course on the planet. So,
yeah.
dude, how did the night finish? So you got released like in the evening on Monday.
No, Sunday.
Sorry, Sunday. You had a
Yeah,
flight
we
the next day.
grabbed a cab. There was like no places to eat, but I went, we got some crepes, chocolate crepes.
And wait, did the parents have to go get your bike?
My dad went to get my bike while that was happening. So
So does he? The story is that's twice in a row now. He had to go get bikes at this race
yeah, yeah. So
because
I
the
was in
last.
the hospital, and unlike you, I was in the hospital, and unlike you, I'm like, can someone go get my precious bike?
If you haven't
Simo
heard the
knows my
story,
precious bike.
I know Simo and I were talking about that. For me, I was sitting there just head down, just depressed, hating my life.
Yeah,
And they phone, they're like, "Hey, you have to come get your bike." And I'm like, "I don't want it. Keep it." And
yeah.
my dad's like, "Whoa, whoa, whoa." He takes the phone. No, we're gonna go get this bike. Where is it? And like they went with my phone and they tried to find this bike. My
So
poor
so
parents.
yeah, like I had crashed, and I wanted my bike. I was like, I need my
Any
bike.
damage to the bike?
I don't think so. I haven't really inspected
How
it.
did your 40K bike go today? I'm kidding. It's a joke. I'm kidding because
I can barely move. So
I know.
this morning, so the pain, I was in so much pain last night. Um, I but I had remembered that the day previous I went for a walk in the morning and I had less pain. So I decided to go for a walk, and I feel like that really helped with the pain. Just a very it's like 20 minutes per K walk, like
I
very, very
saw that.
slow. But I think it really helped to actually kind of relieve the pain a little bit, go for that little walk. I think I had just been in bed for like 16 straight hours or something. So yeah, I can barely move, but I can move. So it's good.
You kind of see that you will recover.
I don't know how I feel like it might take a while though. I'm really worried, but yeah.
I got hit by a car once in Vegas
You got
back when
hit
I
by a
was
car.
back when I was drinking. And I've told you the story. I woke up the next day and I thought I was paralyzed because I couldn't move,
Yeah.
but I had just gotten hit by a car and like my body was just tensed up and I couldn't
Yeah.
like it was. Anyways, it took me like months and months to get back. Sorry, I'm not trying to.
Yeah, yeah, no, I feel like I've been hit by a car, but
Man, when I got up early and I was following and I was tracking and I was really into it and I was following your splits. I was trying to remember where I was at that point. I had my times pulled up on my Strava and I was following how faster you were than me and I was like, "Oh wow, he's doing so good." And I was so pumped and I can't tell you, I mean, it's not about me, but I just want you to know that fudge, that was a scary, scary, scary day for those. I think it was about 2 hours where I didn't know what the heck was happening, hour and a
yeah.
half maybe. And I just kept thinking like, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. And then I was thinking like, what happened to Charlie? What happened to Charlie? What happened to Charlie? And finally, like my parents, call Cheryl, they said. So then maybe I should have called Cheryl first. For some reason, I didn't think she would know. But
I should have told her to. I told her to call my parents, and I assumed once they phoned my parents, I was like, okay, call Cheryl. So my number one concern, I was like, yeah, I was worried about that. Like, I didn't want anyone to think that I wanted everyone to know I was okay. So that's why I was like, I kept repeating, I need to call my wife. I need to call my wife. Finally, I called my wife, and I'm like, tell my parents I'm okay. And then I just assumed that from there on that you would know.
yeah, no, it's my fault. I should have texted Cheryl. I didn't, for some reason, I thought my parents are there. They're going to know, but they didn't have their phone with them or something.
Oh, maybe that's why.
Like, I don't know. My dad's like, oh, sorry, we didn't have our phone with us. What year is it that you don't have your phone with you? I guess I guess they're in their 70s or whatever. But it shows up at one point, it was just predicting that you would finish super slow, super late.
And yeah, because I was in the ambulance.
Well, what happened is, for those of you that were tracking, you had a split. Then your next split was like an hour and a half or hour or like
that was an ambulance. That was the ambulance driving.
That was an ambulance. And then after that, your next split was really fast because the ambulance. So you crossed a couple of chips, but then all of a sudden it became location unknown.
Yeah.
And location unknown, I was like, oh my God, they don't know where this participant is. They don't know. I was just like, I just kept thinking the worst, because thinking he went over the edge on one of those down, because that's around where it was, right? 130. I remembered where that was. I was like, that's the suicide downhill. Anyways, finally I spoke to Cheryl, and I was really, really happy.
This wasn't even one of the bad downhills though. Like it was a very long, straight downhill, and I got lots of speed.
I think you just kind of weren't. It's kind of like doing a trail race. You're just not that mentally sharp, and you fall. You trip over your feet, you fall on your face. Yeah. This is the equivalent, except the injury is 50 times worse.
Well, that, and I think the other thing is when I did it by myself on the Friday, the first few turns I took like very, very conservatively, and I like built up.
Yeah, and you were fresh mentally.
Yeah, and I was fresh, and I built up the ability to know how, as opposed to here, I was like, I guess I don't know. Anyways, yeah, I think you're right. I was super tired at that point, so that didn't make it easier for sure. I was
you got some food. You're home at like midnight. You flew back, made it back home to Winnipeg, and you've been sleeping since.
I'm watching TV.
Okay. Well, I'm glad you're alive. I'm glad you these freaking downhill bike courses, man. I don't want to die. I don't want to die in a race. I don't want you to die in a race. That's the thing.
Yeah.
You either got to get way better at biking. I'm never going to do it.
Well, I think also, so I kept thinking how much easier this would have been with a road bike and with a disc brakes instead of a rim brakes.
What do I have on my bike?
You have the same I do. You have disc.
What are they called?
You have rim brakes.
Rim brakes?
Yeah. The disc brakes would have been a lot easier, I think.
You don't use your bikes in Manitoba, your brakes. Right?
Not very often.
Like extremely rarely do you use your brakes in Manitoba.
To try to avoid pedestrians, that's about it.
No, but I mean, if you're doing loops at Birds Hill, or if you're going up and down Henderson Highway, you're not braking.
Yeah, you're not touching the brakes.
You're not touching it. I remember the first time I touched it in Lake Placid, I was like, oh, this thing works. No, I think they made me test my brakes as I loaded it in there. Anyways,
funny story about when I was checking my bike in. It was like pandemonium. It was a long lineup, and then finally, there's one of the officials says, "Just let people go." Like they were like checking the helmets, and at first checking the helmets, checking everything, and then like one of the top guys just like in French, he's like,
"Laissez-les tout rentrer."
Laissez-les tout rentrer. And then a bunch of people had questions, and they only had French people there. And my dad was going to come with me, and he stopped and he acted as a translator.
He was
for like,
translating.
for like people who had questions because they could only answer in French, but people were asking in English, so my dad was translating.
Ah, Claude to the rescue.
So I went through the whole bike. I'm like, where the hell is Dad? I lost him. He's lost.
Classic,
And
classic
then
movie Claude.
I see him there at the beginning of the bike check, and he's like answering questions.
That's funny. That's awesome. Did he? He's got a story at every one of our races. It feels like my dad. Remember the time he fell on his face at was that Houston or
Houston, yeah.
it's so good to have Claude. Did you see his run, Ben? No, you don't care. Anyways, he had a really
I do care
fast.
about his run.
I mean, right now, today, you're sleeping and you slept all day. He had a phenomenal run today. He did like a 33-minute 5K or something.
Wow.
And Mom had a great run too. So I was so happy to see them crush both their workouts today. Anyways, okay. You're all right though?
Yeah, might run the Kleefeld 5K this weekend or walk it. I'm kidding. I'm not. Are you doing it?
No, I got stuff going on, but I asked Colin Lafreniere if he wanted to come run the rotary. So I have an 18-mile with a 6-mile fast finish. So last week I did the Terry Fox run with my family while I was waiting to get news from you. It was Sunday. It was just a horrible. This is me being selfish. I had a rough day on Sunday because I had to worry about my brother. No, I was so stressed out about you. But one of the good things about my run is they had aid stations on the Terry Fox run course.
Nice.
So I just did a bunch of loops there and they had water and stuff. So for my run. So I said, you know what? I should check if there's a race, because if there's aid stations, it simplifies your job.
Makes it easier, yeah.
Way easier.
You can practice your nutrition. You can practice
nutrition. I only have 2 weeks left to practice for Chicago. So I'm doing a fast finish. And I'm going to do the Rotary half marathon on Sunday for
sharp turn at Pembina. Yep.
Not as sharp as Nice, France, that's for sure.
Yeah.
Not as sharp as Coursegoule.
Coursegoule. I'll always remember it.
You were east of Coursegoule?
I was east of Coursegoule.
Yeah. Coursegoule is the climb. It finishes in Coursegoule.
Well, you start going downhill from Coursegoule.
Yeah. I remember. There's an aid station right there. Well, there was when I was there.
Yeah.
I
dropped my gear also at the top of Col de l'Ancre. Forgot I dropped. I was like ready to. So we get to the top of Col de l'Ancre. You know how much of a relief that is, right?
Yeah, it feels like
I tried to put it back on my big gear and it popped again. So I need to figure that out.
I'm guessing you go to a middle gear first, then you switch the ring. I think middle on the back.
I think you can. I think what ended up working after was whenever it switched from the small to the big, I would go on the small, but I'd go up a few gears, get a bit of speed going, and then go on the big one. I don't know.
I feel like they should have something on Ironman Tracker, because I can't tell you how many text messages I got on Sunday, people that were worried about you, right?
Yeah.
Like they should almost have something like Charlie crashed, but he's okay. Like he's not dead. Just that, like, just for all the people that are worried, right? Because there's a lot of people tracking. And I mean, I know it's not about them, but it would just be pretty easy to. Anyways, I'm glad you're alive and I'm glad that you're back. And Chicago, 3.5 weeks, I'll put you down for like 350, 345.
6 hours. I might have to walk it.
I
don't know if I'll run it yet, but we'll see.
Are you thinking of not coming even?
Oh, I want to go so bad.
Okay.
So we'll see.
Okay. Anything else you want to share? People care about you, if that means anything to you. A lot of people wanted to know what happened to you, and I was trying to update them, and anyways, people care.
I'm just going to give a shout out to Jerry Boris. Don't know who she is, but she follows me on Strava. I know she does triathlon. And she had some nice, friendly messages for me. So appreciate those. Appreciate anyone who checked in on me as well when I was down. Themo, Rob, you guys, appreciate everything. Just move on. That's in the past.
Les Friesen, did he reach out to you?
No.
Yeah, he reached out to me, and Les and Todd and Grant and all the guys from Run Club, and yeah. Anyways,
I appreciate everyone who yeah. I don't know what to say, but I just feel very appreciative.
glad you're alive. Glad you're alive. All right, we'll stop it there. You'll give it another. You'll go to Kona one day, I think. I'm pretty sure.
Is there hills in Kona?
Oh no, but there's oceans and sharks.
Yeah.
In the ocean swim. Fudge. Okay.
Well, I know I can handle an ocean swim now, or
Yeah.
maybe not a sea swim. So, all
Okay,
right.
right on.
Okay.
Wish you all. Wait. I got to do my thing at the end here.
Yeah. Okay.
Wish you all the best in your runs. I know there's a bunch of really fun ones this weekend. The Cleefell Honey Run, the Rotary Half, the Treeherne Marathon is this weekend. Good luck to our buddies that are running Treeherne, Donnie and Grant, and I think Phil and Marty, I think. All that crew. Good luck to those guys. Anyone who's running Treeherne. Next weekend, there's a whole bunch of other runs. So I hope your training's going great, guys. I hope you're crushing your PRs like my parents are right now. And remember, more miles, less pace, and go easy on the downhills. Sorry, that's a bad chirp.